Be ready. 5 seconds.
I present the budget. The people of India have reposed their faith in the government led by the Prime Minister and elected it for a historic third term under his leadership. We are grateful for their support, faith, and trust in our policies. We are determined to ensure that all Indians, regardless of religion, caste, gender, and age, make substantial progress in realizing their life goals and aspirations. The global economy, while performing better than expected, is still in the grip of policy uncertainties. Elevated asset prices, political uncertainties, and shipping disruptions continue to pose significant downside risks for growth and upside risks to inflation. In this context, India's economic growth continues to be the shining exception and will remain so in the years ahead. India's inflation continues to be low, stable, and moving towards the 4% target. Steps are being taken to ensure supplies of perishable goods reach market adequately. As mentioned in the interim budget, we need to focus on four major castes, that is, poor, women, youth, and farmer. For Annadata, we announced higher minimum support prices a month ago for all major crops, delivering on the promise of at least a 50% margin over costs. Administrative actions for approval and implementation of various schemes announced in the interim budget are well underway. The required allocations have been made. Turning attention to the full year and beyond, in this budget, we particularly focus on employment, skilling, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and the middle class. I am happy to announce the Prime Minister's package of five schemes and initiatives to facilitate employment, skilling, and other opportunities for youth. I will speak about them shortly, while more details may be seen in the annexure. This year, I have made a provision for education, employment, and skilling. The people have given a unique opportunity to our government to take the country on the path of strong development and prosperity. In the interim budget, we promised to present a detailed roadmap. In line with the strategy set out in the interim budget, this budget envisages sustained efforts on the following nine priorities for generating ample opportunities for all. Subsequent budgets will build on these and add more priorities and actions. A more detailed formulation will be carried out as part of the economic policy framework about which I will speak later in this speech. This budget details some of the specific actions to be initiated in the current year towards fulfillment of these priorities with potential for changes. The budget also covers some of the previously made announcements with an intent to strengthen them and step up their implementation for expediting our journey towards the goal. Our government will undertake a comprehensive review of the agricultural research setup to bring the focus on raising productivity and developing climate resilient varieties. Funding will be provided in challenge mode including to the private sector. Domain experts, both from the government and outside, will oversee the conduct of such research. New varieties of 32 crops will be released for cultivation by farmers. Farmers across the country will be initiated into natural farming supported by certification and branding. Implementation will be through scientific institutions and willing gram panchayats. Resource centers will be established. We will strengthen their production, storage, and marketing. As announced in the interim budget, a strategy is being put in place for oil seeds such as mustard, groundnut, soybean, and sunflower. Large scale clusters for vegetable production will be developed closer to major consumption centers. We will promote cooperatives for vegetable supply chains, including for collection, storage, and marketing. Our government, in partnership with the states, will facilitate the implementation of the digital public infrastructure in agriculture for coverage of farmers and their lands. During this year, digital crop survey for Kharif using the digital public infrastructure will be taken up. The details of farmers and their lands will be brought into the farmer and land registries. Further, the issuance of Kisan credit cards will be enabled. Financial support for setting up a network of nucleus breeding centers for shrimp broodstocks will be provided. Financing for shrimp farming, processing, and export will be facilitated. Our government will bring out a national cooperation policy for systematic, orderly, and development of the cooperative sector. Generation of employment opportunities on a large scale will be the policy goal. Our government will implement following schemes for employment linked incentives as part of the Prime Minister's package. These will be based on enrollment in the Employees Provident Fund organization and focus on recognition of employees and support to employees and employers. This scheme will incentivize additional employment in the manufacturing sector linked to the employment of employees. An incentive will be provided at specified scale directly both to the employee and the employer with respect to their contribution in the years of employment. The scheme is expected to benefit youth entering employment and their employers. This scheme will cover additional employment in all sectors. The scheme is expected to incentivize additional employment. We will facilitate higher participation of women in the workforce through setting up of working women hostels in collaboration with industry. In addition, the partnership will seek to organize skilling programs and promotion of market access for women self-help groups enterprises. I am happy to announce a new centrally sponsored scheme as the scheme under the Prime Minister's package for skilling in collaboration with state governments and industry. Industrial training institutes will be upgraded in hub and spoke arrangements with outcome orientation. Course content and design will be aligned to the skill needs of industry and new courses will be introduced for emerging needs. The model skill loan scheme will be revised to facilitate loans with a guarantee from a government promoted fund. For helping our youth who have not been eligible for any benefit under government schemes and policies, I am happy to announce a financial support for higher education in domestic institutions. Our government is committed to development of people, particularly farmers, youth, women and poor.